The seasons, why your business can't be summer all year. An apple tree in January looks to an untrained eye like a failure. Bare, gray, nothing being produced, no fruit, no flowers, not even leaves. And if that tree were a business, its founder would be panicking. They'd be running ads. They'd be launching something, demanding to know why it's not growing. But the orchardist isn't worried at all because the orchardist knows that the tree isn't broken. It's just winter. And the winter is not the absence of work. The winter is part of the work. Welcome back to Solaris Sessions. I'm Melanie, the founder of Solaris Method, the strategic and the sacred. And today we read the oldest patterns humans have ever noticed, the seasons. And this one is medicine for anyone who's been trying to force their business and themselves to be productive every single day of the year. The science first, because what's happening in that bare tree is actually quite remarkable. Winter dormancy is not the tree resting the way that we picture rest, like passive and empty. It's an active, essential process. Through the cold months, deciduous trees pull their resources down out of the leaves and the branches and into the roots and into the core. And they're not doing nothing. They're consolidating. They're protecting. And critically, many of the trees actually do require the cold. There's a mechanism called the chilling requirement. And fruit trees need a certain number of hours below a threshold temperature, or they will not flower properly the next spring. So read that again. The tree cannot fruit in the summer unless it first went fully dormant in winter. The rest isn't the price of growth. It's the precondition of it. No winter, no fruit. Skip the dormancy and the tree grows confused. It grows weak and barren. And every part of the year has its distinct labor. Spring is emergence and rapid growth, tender, fast, and vulnerable. Summer is full expression, leaves wide, energy high, visible abundance. And autumn is harvest, and then the deliberate letting go and the release of what's spent. And winter is dormancy and that root deep consolidation. 4 movements, each doing something the others can't, and each is necessary and in sequence. The tree does not judge its winter as lazy or its autumn as loss. It simply moves through the turning and just trusting the whole cycle. Now the strategy, because business culture has declared war on 3 of those 4 seasons. Modern business worships perpetual summer, always producing, always visible, always growing at full intensity forever and ever and crushing it. The grind culture. And at its core, the demand that a living system stay in one season permanently. And not just any season, it's the most energetically expensive season. It's biologically illiterate. No living thing can sustain summer year-round. A tree that tried would absolutely exhaust its roots and it would die. As a founder who tries, always launching, always on, never fallow, never harvesting and then releasing, exhausts in exactly the same exact way for exactly the same reasons. And burnout seen through this lens is often just a winter that was never allowed to happen. The system tried to skip its dormancy, and the dormancy took itself by force. Think about it. The dormancy took itself by force. So it's easier just to allow it. So the strategic move is to build your business as a year with 4 movements, not a straight demand for endless output. There's a spring in your business, the launch, the new offer, the tender, fast-growing beginning that needs protection and shouldn't be judged by summer's standards. You don't harvest a seedling. There's a summer, the season of full visibility and and delivery when the energy is high and you make the most of the light. This is when you push and it's real, but it is a season. It's not a setting. Then there's autumn. And this is the one that most founders skip. The harvest, where you actually gather and count and celebrate what grew, followed by the release, where you deliberately let go of the offer, the clients, and the commitments that are spent, that had their season, that are just now dead leaves, and the tree is spending energy to hold on to them. So pruning is absolutely not failure. It's how the tree survives the winter. And then there's winter, the fallow, the low visibility, the root deep time where you're not producing outwardly at all, but you're consolidating, resting, integrating, planning, and doing the inner infrastructural work that the next year's fruit literally depends on. Practically, this means you plan a year in 4 movements and you don't run every quarter at summer intensity. You schedule your launches for their right season and you protect a real winter. A genuinely fallow stretch, not as a reward. You'll allow yourself, if you've earned it, but as infrastructure. The chilling requirement your next bloom absolutely depends on. The founder who never takes a winter, they aren't more dedicated. They are the orchardist refusing to let the tree get cold and then absolutely baffled by the poor harvest. And there's a discernment gift in here too. When something in your business isn't producing, the seasonal question is diagnostic. Is this a winter? Is it a natural, healthy dormancy that I should honor and protect? Or is this a genuinely dead branch that needs pruning? Those look identical. Those look identical to a panicked founder and completely different to an orchardist. Learning to tell dormant from dead is one of the most valuable instincts you can build, and it comes only from respecting that seasons exist at all. Now the correspondence. And this is where it gets personal because you have seasons too. You are not a machine with a constant output setting. You are a living system and you move through seasons across a year, across a month. And for those of us with bodies that are in cycles, women, across the month, quite literally. There are springs in you, times of fresh energy and new ideas when beginnings feel so easy. And then there's the summers, the high output, the high visibility, the stretches where you can just carry a lot. And then there's the autumns, the times to harvest, all the things that you've done and then release what you're carrying. And the winters, low and quiet, inward times when you have little to give outwardly and a deep need to rest and to consolidate. And here is the wound most high-functioning people carry. We honor only the summer in ourselves. We celebrate our productive seasons and we shame all the others. We call our winters depression or even laziness. We call our autumns our need to release and to grieve and to let go. We call those being stuck. We demand summer from ourselves in the dead of our own January, and then we hate ourselves for not blooming. But you cannot bloom in the winter. It's not a character flaw. It's just a season. And the exhaustion so many capable people feel is the exhaustion of a tree being screamed at to fruit in the snow. The correspondence teaching is simple and it's a relief. Yay. And it's so simple, you guys. Honor your seasons. When you're in a winter, consolidate and rest without guilt, knowing it's the precondition of your next spring. It's not a betrayal of it. And when you're in summer, use the light fully and don't apologize for the intensity and stop demanding one season and just start moving through the turning and the way that everything alive does. Your winters are preparing you to make fruit, and they always were. So the practice this week, name your season. It could be the season you're feeling today, or it could be the season you're feeling this year, or just in your life in general. But name your season. Where are you at? Name it honestly. What season is your business actually in right now? Not what you wish, what's actually true. And what season are you in personally? So just name them. And then ask one question. Am I trying to force the season to be a different one? And if you find that you're demanding summer from a winter in your business or in yourself, see if you can set that demand down, even for a day or a week. And give the seasons the labor that actually belongs to it, and rest if it's winter, harvest if it's autumn, plant if it's spring, shine if it's summer. Match the work to the turning, because the tree that trusts its winter is the tree that's still standing and fruiting 100 years later. And the founder who trusts their seasons is the one still standing, still whole, long after the perpetual summer crowd has completely burned out. Next episode, we go to the edge of the water, to the tide, and what the constant rewinding of the shoreline teaches about timing, discovery, and the art of letting go of what you were never meant to hold. I'm Melanie. This is Solaris Method, the strategic and the sacred, and everything you want to find out about what I do is at solarismethod.com. Honor the season you're in. The bloom is already on its way, so trust.